The offering today is a beautiful adaptation of the Fancy Nesty tutorial that I have on my blog in pictorial version, and I'm going to show it to you in video. We've done this in a beautiful white and blue, and to show you the products that we're going to be using, I have the Spellbinders, the holly motifs and the accent set. I'm using the Spellbinders fleur-de-lis squares. And to give it that real Christmassy feel, I've got the 2012 snowflake pendant. And our sentiment comes from the Creative Expressions Joy to the World stamp set. Right, let's get started. Now, the fun thing to do with this is pick a really detailed nestability, and I'm using the fleur-de-lis squares because you want something that's got a bit of detail to it to show up. And you're going to score your cardstock in half, and you can make the card any size you like. It doesn't matter. As long as your nesty fits within that first page, you're fine. So here's our folding point, and I've scored it down the center, and you're going to tape the nestabilities inside the card, not on the outside, inside. And when you get that done, right down the center of it, you're going to use your ruler, line it up, and put a score mark, the top and the bottom. Now I've already done that. That's important, and I'll show you why. First thing we're going to do is cut that nestability, but not all the way, okay? So I've got my cutting plate. I'm going to put my nestability with the cutting ridge downward into that, and this is the important part here, okay? Where that score line is, I'm going to line the plate up here with my scored line, and I find it's easier if I turn it around and feed it through the machine to engage it this direction. There we go. Now we're going to do the embossing version of this. So I'm going to pick it up, transfer it to my base plate, and grab my tan mat and my embossing plate. But we've cut half of it, but we want to emboss the entire thing. So I'm going to put that over all of it. Run that through your grand caliper. And now I've used 2 dies here, so what I'm going to have is 2 cut edges because I just wanted a little bit more detail in that. So what you're going to do is tape that back together with an insertion. Let me undo, take all of my die and my wax paper and my tape off, gently remove it. Remember, you've got half of it cut and half of it simply embossed. So that should come off. And let's see, there, oh, looking so nice. I've got a little bit of tape, let me remove that. Okay, and you've got some pieces you might have to pick out along here. There we go. And this piece is actually cut twice, so I'm going to use a little teeny bit of tape on the back to put it back together. Let's use some small scissors and just cut a small piece here. And I can use, let's do that one. Just tape that back into place. You won't even see that. But it'll give you the detail that you can see from the front of your card. Okay. So now, brush away all your little bits. Okay. What we're going to do is fold this on the score lines, popping that up, and folding this back into place. So that creates the front of your card. Isn't that pretty? Already it's coming around so beautifully. So leave that like that, and we're going to add some bits and pieces to it, okay? So next, I'll tell you what I've done. I've gone ahead and I've cut the fleur-de-lis square in the pale blue, since I needed to use that die already, and I've added a tiny bit of mounting foam to the back. So let me put that on, and we'll build up the front page there. Okay. And I think I'm going to set this one so it's square on the front, just to give it a little bit different of a look. kind of eyeball where it goes. There we go. That's ready to go. Now I've done a couple of corners already. These are out of your holly accent set, or probably your holly motifs, apologize. And we're going to put some Cosmic Shimmer glue on the back here and glue them onto the front piece. Just little bits here should do the job. I'm going to put one up in this corner. Just give it a second. There we go. And one in this corner. You could even do a little sponging on these if you wanted to add a bit more detail to them. There we go. That gives a nice little corner. And I've got a tiny bit of glue from my removable tape here. I'm just going to take that off with an eraser and a pencil. Put a little drop of glue down on that bit right there. Okay, so now we're starting to see it take shape. So the next thing I'm going to do is cut the snowflake ornament. And this is actually a really finely detailed one. I've taken a piece of coconut white card and I've put a self-adhesive sticky sheet on that. So we are going to tape that into place and run that through. And the last thing I'm going to be cutting is my sentiment. And I've already lined up a die on this. This is the fleur-de-lis square. I've just put it into kind of a diagonal or a diamond orientation there. Let me get my cutting plate. Pop that one on. That one's ready. Put our base plate over that. And let's run it through. Now I'm cutting through 2 layers on the snowflake, so it might need a second pass. Let's just see how we do. That's looking very nice. Very nice indeed. I think I'll just leave it. I think we've got it. Okay, set that aside. Let's take this one out. And you even get a beautiful aperture with that. Look at how pretty that is. We're going to be using this part for our card today. So we're going to do a little removal with the pokey tool and I'm going to take some of the bits out the fall away and just loosen it up because it's really, really fine and detailed. You don't want to pull on any die until you are sure that it's been loosened up nicely. There's that. We got that one out. And just work your way around it, giving it a little bit of a nudge with the pokey tool from behind. Get your finger in there and you can hold it. And this should pretty much do it here. There we go. And take the little fall away pieces out. And these, remember, you've got your sticky adhesive sheet on there, so they may be a little bit troublesome. Okay, so now I've got this piece, and it's got the adhesive sheet on it, so we'll peel that back. Just get it started. There we go. And pop it into our micro beads. Get it nicely coated. Oh, look at that. That is really pretty. I'm going to pop that little guy off of there. So lovely. Got a beautiful snowflake with that micro-beaded texture to it, so it really looks like an icicle, doesn't it? So I'm going to put some Cosmic Shimmer glue right in the center here and just give it a second to set up, okay, and then we'll adhere that. Let's get this one out of the die. Put it back. Now I'm going to use that on the inside of the card in a little bit, but we'll get that ready to go. So I'm going to put some mounting foam on it, and I've got a piece that I'm going to back it with. And we'll do a little square diamond orientation on that one too. But before we go any further, what we're going to do is use a piece that I've cut earlier that has the holly motif border. Lovely, gorgeous piece, and that's out of that pale blue. And we're going to put it onto a piece of white coconut white card that I've already put some adhesive sheet onto, all right? So let's just gently pull this back, and I'll tell you what I'm going to do, just so I can hold on to it. I'm going to fold that for the moment. And I'm going to set this on there. And let's just see if we can get it centered to the edge here. And it's a little bit floppy, so you have to take your time with this. And you want to just get it right up to the edge, fairly even. That looks pretty good. Gently pop it into place. And then what I do is I fold that back and really push on it. Okay? And then we can trim off our ends. And now we're going to peel this back and we're going to microbead the entire piece. So your beads will stick to everything that your border isn't covering. Oh, gorgeous. Look at that. Give it a good push, take some time and really push them into place on your own card. But for our demonstration, I'll just leave it like that. So that will fit right on the inside of my card. So you can kind of see it poking out, just peeking out from underneath it. I'm going to pop it on the back and put some double-sided tape around the edge. And maybe one more. There. And now let's open our card up. And I'm just going to seat it right up to the edge here. Give it a good push. So now we have this beautiful decorative side. So fold that shut. Got it a little close, so we'll just give it a little bit tighter of a fold. And we're going to put our snowflake on there now. And I'm just going to seat that right in the center of that frame as a focal element. And I think it needs a pearl. Let's put a 5mm pearl right in the center of that to accent it. I'll pick that up with my scissors. Set that right in the middle there. Get on there. Give that a second to become secure. And let's put our sentiment in there now. We did this piece earlier, so what I'm going to do is take off the mounting foam. And I want to have it so it doesn't show when the card is closed. So what I'm going to do is pop that right about like that. There we go. Ah, covers that nicely. So now we have a completely finished card, and you can score that so it'll sit a little bit flatter when you post it. But when they open it, they'll see their lovely sentiment on there. Isn't that gorgeous? What a beautiful Christmas card that would be to receive. I hope you've enjoyed the tutorial for today.